The Life of Lord Mahavira, The Birth of Dharma Chakravarti, Part 2 of 5 on Between Master and Disciples, given in Chinese and English on June 22, 2019, at the New Land Ashram, Taiwan, also known as Formosa.
So this maid named Priyamvada rushed to the king Siddhartha and announced, "Congratulations, sire. Many congratulations. Queen Trisla has given birth to a male child." Sire, you know, right? Like sir. But they use sire for king only. For other higher people or respected people, they say sir. For king, sire. So, filled with joy and ecstasy, the king gave away all the ornaments on his body, except the state emblems. He gave everything that on his body at that time to the maid Priyamvada. He was too happy, too joyful, because he already heard so much about his son before the birth, yeah? So it's a great son is coming even. And to have a son to continue his reign, that is auspicious enough already, not to talk about such a divine, great, and auspicious son as that. So he was overjoyed, and he took everything from his, except the one that represents the state and the kingship. He gave everything to the maid. He was too happy. Normally, a king doesn't do that. And you know, it must be very, very precious thing that he has given to this maid. King, they don't wear just, I don't know, it's just this like me. He would wear jewelry, huh? Diamond and rubies and lapis lazulis, whatever, you know, the best in the kingdom, and the best and the biggest and the most flawless jewelry that he would wear on his body as a symbol of authority and wealth. Kings in the old time, they wear jewelry, yeah? Sometimes they wear the long pearl also, or long chain, long necklace of jewelry, or something on their head, their body, yeah? And their wrist or their finger. Imagine, he took all that out and gave it to the maid because they're too happy. Wow. Wouldn't you wish you were the maid at that time, huh? Then you don't have to work very hard in Loving Hood anymore. Just go enjoy the life of a luxury. He also released her from slavery. Wow, even, yeah. Thus, a slave woman was free of her lifelong slavery just because she was the bearer of the good news of the birth of the Tirthanka. She just came and tell the news, that's it, and she became free of her slavery and got so much jewelry from the king. She could live the whole life long with her family without doing anything anymore because of these precious jewelry that the king gave. Imagine that. The child just born and everybody profit already. The maid already became rich and free, just like that. Why does the king need to free her? You should know, in the old time, people sell themselves or they are sold as slaves for lifelong to pay for debt or just to get some money to live by, you know, for the family. Because the poor people, when they have children, sometimes they cannot raise them because they don't have enough money or some circumstances. And they sold their children as a slave. And that will be a lifelong. You will never be free from slavery. Or maybe if you have a lot of money or somebody bought you out, then possible, yes. But it's not always possible like that. Yeah, it's very, very special cases. And even if you have money, you want to buy the slave free, not necessarily the owner, so-called owner, would sell it. because he or she might like the maid so much or the slave so much, they don't want to sell. And they have money. Why they bother to sell? They don't need money. And they like the maids, they like the slaves, so they won't sell even. Talking about old time, in America, a few hundred years ago, 200 some years ago, still have this kind of trade, of slavery. Nowadays, we don't have that. Maybe in some areas still have. Imagine, 21st century, people still sell and buy others. Look exactly like me and you, still sell and buy them. Like a pen or something, like an object. This is not correct. Maybe this system don't exist officially anymore, but it still exists in some poor area, rural area, and it's regrettable. And even then, if we abolish this kind of slavery trade forever, we still must consider the animal slavery trade as well. They are also beings. They have feeling, they have emotion, they have intelligence, they have loyalty to each other, and they're so good to each other and to humans also. And we sell, buy them just like we did with humans before. That's also not correct. Our world is not correct in many ways. I don't know how long it takes to change all this, but we will have to change it. And we are doing all we can to change this system because it's not right. There's only one way to do things, it's the right thing. And this thing is not right. No matter what country or what government, if they have some thinking, some little sympathy in the heart, some understanding of what's right, what's wrong, then this slavery of humans and animals should be abolished long time before I was even born. That should be the right thing to do. Now we hope it comes soon. Now, the prince was born. So of course they're going to celebrate, And they're going to describe to us the celebrations of this great being called Mahavira. King Siddhartha called his prime minister and ordered thus, tell the officer in charge of celebrations to organize unique and special birth celebrations. After the king's order, all the highways, roads, and lanes in the town of Kastriyakund were cleared. Perfumed water was sprayed, and bunting, garlands, and leaves were lavishly put everywhere. Sweets and gifts were distributed. People danced with joy. The whole town echoed with felicitous songs and music. Big celebration. Maharaji Siddhartha had an inspiration. He called the prime minister and said to him, "The celebrations of childbirth in the royal family are part of the tradition. However, on this particular occasion, I want something new, something unique." So the minister humbly submitted, "Sire, express your wish and it will be carried out like your order." King Siddhartha said, "Today announce a general amnesty. Free all the prisoners, write off all the debts, distribute money to the needy, allow 50% subsidy on all purchases from all traders, open centers for distribution of food and clothes to the poor, old and invalid, and liberate old and sick slaves as well. Thus, let the townfolk join the celebrations free from misery, hunger, and bondage." Wow, this is a great great pardon from the king, really great amnesty, yeah. So the order of King Siddhartha was carried out, of course, yeah. Who dare not, huh? Chop, chop. The celebrations continued for 10 days with unprecedented enthusiasm. People held the occasion and muttered, "Some divine great soul must have descended on earth to liberate the world from pain and misery." They're talking between each other. Must be something like that. Otherwise, how can it be such a great magnanimity and liberation and generosity and all this? When the name-giving ceremonies approached, King Siddhartha said to Devi Trisla, "Devi, there has been a continued increase in our wealth, power, and happiness. As such, I think we should name the child as Vardhaman. Vardhaman means ever increasing, always progress, yeah, improved." Queen Trisla consented with joy. "Oh, Maharaj, you are absolutely correct. Good wife, good wife. This child is certainly going to accelerate our all-around development." Yes. Both of them very happy. So, on the 12th day after the birth of the child, King Siddhartha organized a great feast again and invited all his relatives and friends. After meals and other state courtesies, King Siddhartha addressed the guests. "Since the day this child was conceived, our family has been blessed with increasing goodwill, respect, wealth, and mutual affection. Cash, gold, and gems have increased in our treasury. The public has gained health, peace, happiness, and goodwill. Thus, since the moment this soul has descended, there has been a continued enhancement in our glory, wealth, health, and fame." Wow, such a child everyone wants to have, eh? As such, I and Devi Trisla have thought of a befitting name for this child, Vardhaman. So King Siddhartha's suggestion was unanimously approved, and the child was formally named Vardhaman. Now they are telling the story about his early life. Okay. The facts of the early life of Mahavira given in the several biographies, different biographies, yeah, whose names we have recounted above are very few. Indeed. The later accounts have connected him with certain anecdotes, myths, and miracles, but they appear to have been alienated from the other traditional sources and cannot, therefore, be justifiably recounted as the facts of Mahavira's life. They think some of the biography are too exaggeratedly mythical, yeah, in content, so they just forget that. Just like not a reliable source, yeah. It's more exaggerated. It's like just like when people so much respect and revere someone, and they just adding things into their life which has not truly existed. Yeah, so they think they cut it out. There is, for instance, an anecdote in one of the Digambara books illustrative of Mahavira's supreme valor, which runs thus. One day, Sakrendra, while talking in the assembly of gods, stated, "There is no person braver, more courageous and stronger than Prince Vardhaman, the king of the gods in heaven, supposed to say to some subordinate gods like that. Yeah. And the people, they think, maybe the author of these books thinking that praising an 8-year-old boy's bravery in the assembly of God was a strange thing. A skeptic god jokingly said that Sakrendra was exaggerating, and he proceeded to test Prince Vardhaman. Oh, here come. Here come the test. It is possible that the king of God truly was praising the Prince Vardhaman. And why not? Just like the Buddha, when he was born, he was only little, but all the gods and the angels and the other saints already surrounding him, bless him and love him. And why not? The god Chakra is supposed to know him, yeah? Because he was the one who took Vardhaman Prince all the way to Mount Meru to bless him and bathe him. If such a incredible person or being going to be a great saint and save beings on this planet and even save beings in heavens as well, then of course the kings of God would know, even before the birth of the child already. And that's why when the child was born, he was present and took the child up to the Mount Meru to bath in the purest water of the mountain and bless him already. How could he not praise him? In the form of a child, inside already there are godliness, already saintliness, yeah, already compassion, mercy, and love. So the God should know, yeah. And if he praised the 8-year-old kid in the God assembly, I don't think anything wrong about that. I don't think there's nothing rare about that or unbelievable about that. Do you?
No.
You think it's strange? No, of course not. Of course not. In the Buddhist Sutra, I think Lotus Sutra, it's recounted that 8-year-old dragon daughter, yeah, has already become enlightened. 8 years old only, yeah, so why not? The Buddha also know about that. And also praise her or tell in front of one of his disciples. I forgot, long time. I read this maybe 40 years ago. Huh? So these things are nothing really very extraordinary. Huh? In the kingdom of gods or the Buddhas or the saints, these things are normal. Only for the mortal people, they don't understand. They think, oh, this is not possible. So they doubt the event in heaven, whether or not it really took place. I think it could have taken place. And this is nothing strange. And if it's written here, or in other biography, that means maybe one person, very highly spiritual, developed, it could have gone and have access to heaven and probably heard about that or see that. Just like Buddha's disciple or Jesus' disciple or any saint's disciple, they have access to heaven. And they can hear discourses or discussion from different gods in heaven. So they came back and they wrote it down. So it's nothing really strange. Many of the Buddha disciples also went to many different heavens to listen to Buddha discourses up there. Like when Buddha went to Tusita heaven to give a lecture on behalf of his mother. Somebody came back and recounted. So it's nothing strange about that. But I guess this is a biography of a great master who has been long gone. Huh? So the people who wrote this or who translated or who maybe gather informations about the great master, past master, probably not be able to capiche that. Okay? But you capiche, no? I hope. No need to even say like the God or the kings of gods even. When I was 8 years old, I picked up one of the book or something, a prediction that one child is born in Asia. Right now, that child is about 8 years old, and she or he going to be very great in the world. No need to be the God to even predict that. They even see it everywhere. There are some seers, great seers, great clairvoyant who has ability to see things that other people don't see. And no need to talk about a great master. In India or anywhere, there always have been, and there always exist some great seers and great clairvoyants all time. Nowadays, even in Tibet, for example, before the 14th Dalai Lama was born, the great seers, the monks, the elder, the senior monks, who can see things, who know things, who are trusted, with inner knowledge as well. They went everywhere to look for the child who supposed to be the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama, the next Dalai Lama, which is the 14th Dalai Lama right now. And it's not the first time they do that. They always look for the Dalai Lama reincarnation, different succession. They always did that. And the 14th Dalai Lama also into the same category, that they also went everywhere to look for the child. After the Dalai Lama, the past Dalai Lama died, then they will start looking already. If the soul of that Dalai Lama has reincarnated somewhere, and they find him, they will always find him and install him back in the throne as the next Dalai Lama. So there's nothing mysterious about whether or not the God, the King of God in heaven, has praised Prince Vatman when he was only 8 years old. I think it's very, very possible that this is really a true story. I mean, why would people say such thing when it's not true? If they understand about spiritual practice and they understand about the precepts, they would not tell lies, especially lying about a master, a great being like Vatman Mahavira. I think. Me think. Okay. Thank you. You are disciples, so all of you always agree to everything I said. This is good. Make me feel supported. But it's logical, right? Yeah, citing so many examples, then you would know that. This is a continued story that some of the people doubt whether or not it's true. So this is a continuing of that story.